Hello everyone, I'm Todd Hilton from Nowhere Video Productions, and joining me is my best friend and partner in shenanigans for over 30 years, Mr. Chris DeBois.
Hi.
Welcome to Nowhere Video's Greatest Skits. This is a compilation program that has been long overdue. We actually mentioned it during the February 2019 edition of Nowhere Video News. That's been a while ago now.
A little bit.
Just a little bit. So this is one of the programs that we mentioned that was in the works, and it's something that it's been a long time coming. We talked about doing a compilation program where we dig into the archive and we bring out some of our favorite skits from all the different generations of Nowhere Video Productions. We have stuff dating back to the late 80s up until the mid 2010s. Lesser on the new side, more on the older side, but still good stuff. We've picked out some of our favorite skits from the various sketch comedy programs that we've done over the years. And in this show, we're going to take a look at some of those. We're going to talk about the backgrounds behind some of these various skits, maybe how they came about, and some backstory behind them, what we liked about them, how they ended up on this list, and significant facts on some of them. I know we've got some interesting little tidbits, little stories behind some of these things. And, well, let's get started. We've got, what is it, about half a dozen different shows.
Half a dozen?
That these came from.
Yeah.
We have our schedule eclipse, as we like to call it. These are going to be shown in a random order. I think it's more fun that way, that we bounce back and forth between the older stuff and the newer stuff. Nowhere Video is in its third generation. Generation 1 takes place between 1987 and 1992. This is all stuff that we shot on my PXL 2000 camcorder that I actually still have. We got a lot of use out of that little camera.
Oh boy. Boy howdy.
We shot a little bit of stuff in color. The color stuff was hard to come by because we were renting camcorders at the time, and it was pretty tough. 1993 was the start of Generation 2. This is when we became involved with public access television. So our video game went up several notches there, being able to have our crazy antics be shown to real audiences. It was literally a game changer. We were able to do things we only dreamed of, and there was pretty much no stopping us from there, although people did try.
Made it a lot easier having access to cameras anytime you wanted. We had studios, and it made it a lot easier and not have to wait around and rent something, come up with the money to do something. Shit, this was all free.
Yeah, and for those of you who have never rented a camcorder, I don't even know if you can rent a camera anymore.
Yeah, did they even do that anymore?
I don't even know if they do that anymore, because there's no video stores anymore.
It's like 8-track in cars. Do they even do that anymore?
I don't know. Do they still do that? Yeah. I do I do remember that when we were renting cameras, it was like $100. When you're a kid, that's a lot of damn money. So that's why I think in my life, it literally only happened 2 times that a camera was rented and I recorded some projects. So once we hit public access, we just went nuts. We were recording everything we possibly could. Some got shown to the public, most of it did not.
And for reasons you're about to find out.
So yeah, this is a great mix of stuff in this program. We do have one clip that would be considered Generation 3, which is 2007 to the current time. This is debuting in 2020, so we do have other stuff, but it's not released yet, and it's not going to be part of this program here tonight. So, that being said, let's get started on some of these. There's going to be 2 versions of this program, depending on which one you're watching. One of them, we will have our hosting through the entire show, and we'll tell you about the skits, neat little tidbits and interesting anecdotes and things like that. The other version, we will host it from the beginning and at the end, and we'll let the skits run straight through. We'll show you title cards showing you what program they came from, what year that program was released to the public. So, with that being said, let's dive in. Gabloosh. Right into the toilet. So, these are in no particular order. Starting with Parental Advisory 1, or as it was called at the time, Parental Advisory, because there was only one. Parental Advisory was supposed to be the cleaner, more tame sequel to Livewire.
Livewire Part 2.
Yeah,
yes.
Our outrageous comedy series. Funny stuff, toned down, but more thought was put into it. So one of the things that we did in there is we had a recurring character of yours, used car salesman named Crazy Coos.
Yeah, we just decided to bring him back. It just seemed to make sense. I mean, hey, for doing another show, bring the recurring characters back. And yeah, this one was a little bit different because it was a holiday thing.
Yeah, that was kind of the wild card for.
And even then we had this kind of thing. Should we do holiday outside of holiday time? You know how hard it is to celebrate Christmas in August?
Well, the original Parental Advisory, I can't remember if it took us 2 weeks or like a full month to do the show. I want to say it only took place over a couple of weeks.
Well, it sounds about right that it took us a month.
Yeah, I might be thinking of 2, but I think the first one it was like a couple of weeks. So everything was cranked out pretty fast. But we have the Crazy Coos holiday message. It is an anomaly of the Crazy Coos series of salesman ads, and it's one of my personal favorites, just because it is so funny. It's different from the whole rest of the series, and I think that's why I like it.
It goes. It's kind of one of those kind of things.
You want to watch,
and you really don't know what it is until the very end. And,
right? Yeah, that's it exactly. You don't know what's going on until the very end of it. So from Parental Advisory 1, here's Crazy Coos holiday message.
Chris Goose here, just wishing you and your family a wham bam hell of a holiday. And remember, if you don't come see me tomorrow, I can't see you next week.
Drugnet. There's one. And even right from the beginning, this is, it's not to reflect real life. It's meant to poke.
It's exaggerated.
Yeah, fun at even the most serious of things, which is a commonality for, once again, Livewire.
Yeah. Blowing things out of proportion and
And this one, just like with Todd and I, it has a couple of idiots doing.
It's always a couple of idiots. It just so happens it's always us.
Are supposed to be quote unquote detectives out on a case. I can't even be certain what it is that we're supposed to be,
what is it we're supposed to be accomplishing?
Detecting,
during the case?
whatever you want to call it. What we're supposed to be cops about.
We
what a case.
We were
is.
assigned to a murder case.
Yeah.
But instead, we focused on a case of beer.
And so pretty much the whole skit revolves around us, getting high.
High, drunk, stoned, you name it.
Crashing vehicles.
Crashing vehicles, walking home.
And best of all, singing show tunes.
I forgot about that.
So, yeah, it's got everything you could possibly want in the
and just
skit.
the repetition of it. It's, again, it just falls under the same description of, it's just so ridiculous, it's funny.
Yeah, and so... Like I said, we really don't know what the case was. I guess a murder case.
Yeah.
But we don't know who died.
We don't know who died, but yeah.
We never got to that.
We never got to that. We just spent all of our time.
And through obvious reasons, in the end, they meet an untimely demise. As if you couldn't see that
not
coming
to give
from.
away the ending, but but it's a fun ride getting there.
So, what their whole purpose is, we don't know.
They're just there.
They're there to do their thing. So please enjoy Drugnet.
The city, downtown, or uptown, or somewhere, it don't fucking matter. Anyway, me and my partner Joe tomorrow and John yesterday were assigned to a new case. "6:45 p.m. We'd just come back from our most recent case. Our chief assigned us to a new case, a murder case. Someone had been killed. It was up to us to find the killer. After receiving the case, we studied it thoroughly. Then we left the station. We discussed what we were going to do. We knew we had to start looking for clues. We knew our mission. So then, we were off. After thinking about it, we decided to go ahead and take the case of beer. 8:15 p.m. We went downtown to look for clues at a local bar. 9 p.m. We got home. Then we got drunk. My partner got really drunk. "11:30 a.m. My partner had some important business to take care of. In the meantime, I got drunk. 1:51 p.m. We arrived back at our house. Then we got stoned. I, on the other hand, got really stoned. Boy, was I stoned. I was so stoned I had no idea what I was doing. Then we got drunk. "9 p.m. We went out to look for clues, and we wrecked the car. Because we wrecked the car, then we had to walk home. 10:15 p.m. We got home, then we knew what we had to do. So we shot up. I did my usual load. And my partner did his. Then we got stoned. Again. Then we went downtown and paid a prostitute for sex. Then we got drunk. Again. Then we drove around town and sung show tunes.
Flintstones, need the Flintstones.
We sounded good. Damn good. Then we wrecked the car. Again. So we had to walk home. Again. After we got home, I shot my partner. He shot me. Then we shot each other. I spent a sleepless night that night, worrying about where our next shipment of pot was coming from. "3 p.m. We decided maybe it was time to get up. "5 p.m. I decided to start looking for clues on my own, but then I realized something was missing. Then I decided maybe it was time to put my pants on. 7:37 p.m. We just about come to the end of the case. I drank the last beer. Once again, the city of St. Helens sleeps peacefully knowing that Joe Tomorrow and John Yesterday were on the case.
Detectives John Yesterday and Joe Tomorrow died early the next day of a drug overdose.
All right, one of the odder things that we did with one of my reoccurring characters, Clarence Claude, was we did a top secret Nintendo with Clarence Claude. Now, this is where the best drunk guy you could ever possibly want to be with tells you how to do one of Nintendo's most famous codes.
Also known as the Konami code.
The Konami code, which is in several, and even to this day is still being used in certain games.
Yes.
And basically, as like I said, it's Clarence Claude giving you the Contra code. We all know that up, up, down, down, left, right, BA, start is the code. Well, in true fashion, with Clarence Claude, he has to do BA. Well, let's just say that BA means something different for him than it does everybody else.
So you're gonna get video game advice from a drunk guy.
So this was extremely different than anything else Clarence Claude has really done. He actually had a purpose in something he's done.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, at least for the most part. So, from Vadio Ventures, there's Top Secret Nintendo with Clarence Claude.
Welcome to Top Secret Nintendo. And now, here's your host, Clarence Claude.
Hello, I'm Clarence Claude, and I'm here how to show you the code. I'm here how to show you the the fucking country code, alright? Whatever. And life force. Anyway, is there a breeze in here? Is my fucking fly undone? Oh, sorry. Buttons slide. Flies, you know what I mean. Oh, yeah, my hat. Yeah, my hat. Alright, the code. You can get 30 man on this code. It's pretty easy. But for me, oh, I'm sorry. Did I do that? Let me take care of that for you. Smell that shit, man. Oh, wow. Sorry. Didn't feel it. Anyway, the code goes like this. You go up, down. Yeah. Up, down. Up, down, left, right. B-A. Oh yeah, B-A. Oh, I'm sorry. Can't show it on TV. Because of fucking assholes, you know, they don't like me fucking cussing and shit like that, and they think it's too obscene. Personally, I don't know what the problem is. Whoa, look what I found. Jim B, my favorite. I'm sorry. Well, that just about wrap it up for tonight. And remember, I'm here whenever you are. Sayonara, dudes.
Yes, I'm sure.
God damn it, I didn't do that again. Jesus Christ, man. I don't know what's gotten into me, man. Something crawled up me and died. I don't know what it was. I must have stepped on a pile of shit or something on the way to the show. I'm sorry. Whatever it is, I must have ate it, not known about it. Oh boy.
Generation 3 Nowhere Video Productions takes place between 2007 up through the present. And scenes in this generation are really few and far between. A lot of things have been going on in my life in the current generation, so there's not a lot of comedic type material that is coming out. But during the time I was in college, we had to make a video based on food, and we made a professional looking video. Afterwards, we were given free rein to use the footage we'd shot and make it our own, do something cool with it, make a viral video. So, me being me, that's exactly what I did. This wasn't my first rodeo. I had about 20 years experience on most of my classmates in college. So, I took it and I ran with it. So, in true Nowhere Video fashion, here's Abuelita's Kitchen.
Oh boy, lunchtime! Oh man, peanut butter and salami again? Ugh. Why does lunch have to be so yucky? Why can't it be yummy?
Try this delicious taco from Abuelita's Kitchen.
Tacos? For lunch? I don't know. My wife makes me lunch every day, and I would just hate to have
Shut up!
Holy frogs, that's hot!
You got that right, hombre. Abuelita's authentic Mexican food is made fresh with peppers, spices, veggies straight from the garden, and slow-cooked beans smoking hot and priced to go.
I think I need to change myself.
Anything else?
Yeah. Sorry, honey. I need more Abuelita's Kitchen.
Now you're talking. Abuelita's Kitchen Authentic Mexican. Damn, that's hot.
AM Dusk 2 had its healthy share of memorable skits. Not only was it a great show, but it had some of the best material that we'd ever written. The co-creator of AM Dusk, Miss Jennifer Rose, and I spent quite a bit of time just coming up with these goofy characters and silly skits, and we got the idea to do a reenactment of Married with Children with not too many alterations of me to play Al, putting on a white t-shirt and pants with a belt. That was pretty much all I needed to do. Jennifer had to go through probably a can and a half of hairspray to get her hair to stand up like Peg Bundy, and it turned out pretty good. And I remember the only thing that didn't turn out so well was actually had to do with the audio. At that particular time, when we were shooting that skit at my parents' house, my dad was outside mowing the lawn. So in between conversation, you can hear... That's always pissed me off ever since then. But, and again, it's kind of short and sweet. It's not very long. I spent quite a bit of time perfecting the ending graphics for that skit so that they would resemble the ending graphics that were actually used in Married with Children. Probably longer than it needed to be, but I just wanted that authenticity. And ultimately, I think we played it off pretty well. And we talk about making socks. You know, Peg was always busting Al's balls about, you know, they never have sex and everything. So we played off on that and said socks instead of sex. And it was pretty damn funny. I think our portrayal of the two was pretty spot on. So from AM Dusk 2, check out Married with Children, Peg and Al.
Let's make socks.
Oh boy.
We haven't made socks in 4 years. You're a pig, Al.
One of the recurring themes throughout Livewire is the appearance of one of our favorite bands, ACDC. We decided it would be funny to alter a pre-existing interview with band members Brian Johnson and Angus Young. So that's exactly what we did. We took an actual interview, I think it was off MTV.
Yes, it was a rockumentary.
Rockumentary. And we picked out certain parts of this interview, which we thought, oh, we could set up phony questions that they're supposedly answering. It just so happens that all of our questions had something to do with sex.
Yeah, it seemed to fit everything that they talked about.
And it fit every single thing they said.
Even though they were talking about sex.
But we were, so it worked out. But one of the more creative editing skits in Livewire was the ACDC interview. So, yeah, not only did we get ACDC involved, we got a phony audience involved to ask questions or try to ask questions, as you'll see. And it really turned out pretty damn funny. So from Livewire Episode 2, here's the ACDC interview.
Good evening. I'm Dexter Lee Poindexter.
And I'm Proctor Berkowitz.
And tonight, we're coming to you live from beautiful St. Helens, Oregon. And we'll be interviewing via satellite all the way from London, England, two members of the band ACDC, Brian Johnson and Angus Young.
And they've agreed to talk about sex. And in fact, it's the only thing they agreed to talk about. So, without any
further ado, let's get right to the questions. First of all, I'd like to ask, how do you like sex?
Very tight.
Okay, Brian. This question's aimed at you. Why do you like sex so much?
I just know it makes me boom move.
Angus, how did you learn how to have sex? Was it one person? Was it a class or something? How did you learn how to have sex?
There's something, I don't know. I can look at my brother, I can watch his hands, I can watch them.
All right, let's go to a studio member. Hello, up in the corner there.
Yeah, I was wondering, you know about, forget it.
Well, okay. Now, fourth question. What is it?
Okay, now, I know you practice safe sex. What was it like the first time you used a condom?
When the first time I put it on, I was so frightened I thought I better do something, I better move. My legs were like jelly,
Oh, I believe we have another audience member with a question. Yes.
Yeah, I was wondering, who else have you had sex with, and how was it?
Good question. So, guys, how about it? Who else have you had sex with, and how was it?
Very mellow, like Olivia Newton and John Travolta, and it was mild.
Heard you haven't had much luck with women. What do women say when they see you?
Can I go? He's just got a clown. What does he do? He got a rabbit, and he's gonna pull it out of you. What's he doing up there? Is he gay? No.
Now, some people get sexually aroused when they hear, like, music. Now, does your music turn you on? Or does anything else? I mean, tell me what you think here. Does your music turn you on?
But, I kind of think of any kind of music that would get me aroused. As much as this music,
Okay, Angus, what's Brian like when you two have sex?
And the next thing you know, I just see this guy hit the deck on the floor. He's screaming, he's howling.
Okay, back to the first guy again.
Yeah, I was wondering, about, oh, the hell with it.
Okay. Oh, I see we have another audience member with a question. Yes.
Yeah, I'd like to know, if you two had sex together, how do you get it in?
Very good question. Guys?
You just gotta jump. That was a classic. Well, I guess it should have been another 2 feet higher.
Okay, when you guys are done having sex, what do you usually say to your partner?
What's next? Usually everyone's looking around, and then my brother's going, "Can somebody get him off the floor?"
Okay, Angus, when you and Brian are having sex again, and you're done, what happens then? What does Brian say?
You know, he was on the table shouting, "More, more," you know. And then, but what had happened was Brian had an attack of appendicitis.
Oh, I see there's another part of the studio audience coming in. Sir, do you have a question?
Yeah, could you point me to the direction of the Barney's Bacon Tits and Blowjobs?
Yeah, it's just right down the street.
Okay. Well, we just have a few more questions. I see you guys have to get going, so we'll just ask one last question. After all this has happened, have you guys ever thought about having sex with just women?
I don't know, maybe we should.
Well, that was ACDC's Brian Johnson and Angus Young. Until next time, I'm Dexter Lee Poindexter.
And I'm Proctor Berkowitz.
Good night from St. Helens, Oregon.
Vadio Ventures was a collection of videos shot on the PXL 2000. And Chris and I were always shooting just weird, random, funny stuff. One of the things we did, we spent like half the day in his basement, and we shot this skit basically to the point, I think we almost made it up as we went.
Back then, that's how we did things.
Yeah.
We didn't really
Run and
write
gun.
down much of a script. We had a concept, and we just went on it. So it was ad lib all the way. Whatever happened, happened.
Yep,
That was
it was run and gun, and we had this idea to have this guy sitting in a bar, which was me. Had Chris come in like he's this tough biker guy. He orders a beer, ends up with some strange concoction. And then we end up coming back to barf. Somehow that always was part of the equation. So that's pretty much it. So from Vadio Ventures, here's Pepsi beer.
Hey, buddy, how's it going? Yeah, it's beer. This ain't beer. It's Pepsi. Pepsi beer. Oh, okay.
Parental Advisory 2 was a sequel that was long overdue. Parental Advisory was supposed to be a series, and at that point in our lives we found out that we just didn't have the time to devote to a regular weekly series. It just wasn't possible, especially if we wanted this thing to look better than Livewire.
Yeah, we weren't kids with nothing else better to do.
Yeah, that was
at this time. It's like we started having our own lives with families and kids, I suppose. So it's not as easy as you think to get together
So that's why there's 7 years between the first one and the second one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Parental Advisory.
But what a difference 7 years makes.
Yeah, it really did. The quality of, even though they're still part of Generation 2, 7 years is a long time when you're young. And we learned a lot between the first show and the second show. The second show, we joke about it that it's almost like the exact same show. We have a lot of the same ideas, just tweaked a little bit. We decided to come back for a second edition of WTHC News, which is specific to Parental Advisory, which some people think, oh, it's a drug reference, it's pot or whatever. No, it actually is an acronym for Who the Hell Cares? Who the Hell Cares News?
Yeah.
And this is probably top 10, maybe top 5 for me. This is one of my favorite skits that we've ever done. It's very complex. There's a lot of different sections to this skit.
There's a lot of more of our entertaining stuff. It's like I mentioned before, there's a lot of stuff going on. It changes quite a bit. So, and I think it's more to keep the attention going, so that way, it flows better.
It does. It really does. Compared to the first WTHC News, which did not make the final cut for this show, it has its funny moments, but it's not funny clear throughout like the second edition is. We actually did end up scripting a portion of the news program. So, I mean, you can tell. You can tell we knew what we were doing. Sometimes we would have a general direction that we wanted to go, and we just ad-lib based on that. And other times we'd actually sit down and kind of sketch out, okay, what do we want to say? And we'll shoot it clip by clip. And it worked out really well. I think there's only one scene that I was never really happy with because it was rushed. We needed one final scene for the news. And this was the fight between my buddy and Kirby Bear.
Yeah.
It's stupid, I kind of just roll my eyes when I see it. It's like it's goofy. I mean, it's like kid stuff, But if you can get through that, the rest of it, it's just hilarious. All the different things that are going on. We've got so much good stuff in this skit. In addition to an actual sitting at a desk news report, which when you see this will actually relate back to other things that are happening in the same show. There's foreshadowing in WTHC News that reference things that come up later in the show. And then you've got Westschwab Tires, which in itself is just, it is freaking hilarious. It's literally one of the best parts in the entire show, and shot separately from the rest of the skit. And the great part about it is when we shot that, we got to use an actual studio set. So it didn't look like we just set something up, in front of a wall or something. We actually had a real studio to use. We used an actual blue background.
Real technology.
Yeah, for Chris's weather report. The kind of the funny thing about WTHC News is we play ourselves. We play like alter egos of ourselves.
Yeah.
We're not quite us. And the fact that we reference ourselves in the third person, it's pretty damn funny. And somehow you get done doing weather, and then you're doing a live report on the street.
I'm everywhere.
I don't even know how that works. He's everywhere. So, yeah, WTHC News. It's one of the best ones we've ever done. From Parental Advisory 2, check out WTHC News.
Live from St. Helens, this is WTHC News. With Todd Hilton, Chris DeBois with weather, and Mark Johnson with sports. And now, the WTHC News 6 o'clock report.
Good evening. I'm Todd Hilton, and this is WTHC News. Our top story tonight: Afghanistan terrorists attack Washington. But that's not important. In other news, this local man has been seen walking the streets of St. Helens. This man is wanted by the FBI for providing alcohol to minors. This man should be considered intoxicated and drunk. If you see this man, do not approach him. Beat the crap out of him, then call the authorities. Then have the authorities beat the crap out of him. Either way, be sure he has the crap beat out of him thoroughly. Thank you. Also tonight, police are looking for an elderly man who has allegedly caused much violence around town, including harassing several local businesses and setting fire to a local Cub Scout troop Christmas tree sale. If you see this man, kill him immediately until he is dead. Then call the authorities to have them identify the body and string him up by his colon. Tonight's newscast, we will be featuring a sports report from our sportsman Mark Johnson and weather performed by Mr. Chris DeBois. Now we will also have various live reports on local action to find out what events are happening in the community. Coming up next, we will go to our weekly weather report to find out what is happening in weather over the next week and a half with our weatherman, Chris DeBois, who is filling in for Chris DeBois, who is sick this week.
It's not unusual to find ads on page 3. Hi, I'm Chris DeBois with the weekly weather report right after these messages.
Hey, I need some tires!
It's wintertime, which means time for tires. Come on in to Westlaw Tire Center and pick up a set of our all-new BS 400 Ultra Track Studless Stud Snow Tires. These great new tires feature a patented weave design and vented tread for extra traction. Pick up a set right now for only $89.99 each plus tax. We guarantee you'll feel the difference.
Try a set for 3 hours. If you don't agree they're the best fucking tires you ever bought, bring them on back. I'll stuff them up your ass.
And don't forget, free beef now at the Westlaw sign.
Flip off the sign of the Westlaw bastard. Westlaw, the place where you get screwed.
Now we take you to Chris DeBois for our weekly weather report. Chris? Chris?
Just a minute! Highs today are gonna be high and then gradually turning off. The lows are gonna dip into the cold range. Over the next couple of days, the cold weather mixed in with the moisture is going to start paving the way to make some interesting stuff. The weekly forecast for the Pacific Northwest, as we can see in this state that looks like a hand washing hands. What we're going to start seeing is we're going to start seeing the ridge of area pressure come in off the coast, and as that does that, we're going to start seeing moisture and clouds, and it's going to start raining in Seattle for a little while. And what it's going to do is it's going to moved to Spokane, where reports have just come in right now that it's raining in Spokane, and what's going to happen is everything's going to get wet. So what that's going to do is that's going to start pushing everything south. So we can already see the results of this weather pattern if we look to the state capital of Slalom, where they're getting reports of tornado touchdowns all over the area. So I guess you could say that the whole situation just blows. I can't believe I just said that. Which reminds me, on the subject of tornadoes, it's always important that a person have some kind of emergency backup plan in effect during the event of a tornado. First aid kits, stuff like that. So I just wanted to bring that out. And not all regions of the state are reporting bad weather. Up here in the northeastern area of Oregon, around Piddleton, we're getting reports of highs today of around 85, and then the lows later on of about 82. 82? 80. Okay. So what that means is that it's gonna start making things just a little bit warmer than normal. So that, and you know, all with the mixed in areas of the other weather pattern, we have a strong combination of different variables that mixed together will eventually start to throw up through the Pacific Northwest into areas of Canada. So let's see what next month's forecast is for last year. 82? And we're going to start off this 3-day forecast on Friday with the highs of around 82. Yeah. And then Saturday, we're going to get some cold temperatures of about minus 35. Better wear a coat. And then Sunday, it looks like we're going to have a little bit of tornado touchdowns. Tornadoes. Okay.
Tonight's newscast is being brought to you in part by West Schwab Tire Centers. Go in and get tires.
Now we take you to a live report from Chris DeBois.
Hi, this is Chris DeBois reporting live on Columbia Boulevard in St. Helens, where about 10 minutes ago a serious car accident has occurred. It appears that a head-on collision between a car and a van has left one man dead and another in critical condition. The man has been life-flight to Emmanuel Hospital in Portland. Also, paramedics have arrived on the scene, as have local police and fire departments, as the accident has traffic backed up for a couple of miles.
Yes, Chris, are you aware that this accident happened on Highway 30 about 2 weeks ago?
Why, I had no idea.
Well, thank you, Chris, for that annoying, although pointless report. Now we take you live via satellite to Mark Johnson with our sports report. Mark?
Thank you, Todd. I'm Mark Johnson for WTHC Sports, and I'm 3 sheets to the wind. Last week, tragedy struck the WNBA when one of the members of the Portland Fire was rushed to Emmanuel Hospital after she spontaneously combusted. She nearly drowned after firefighters arrived. And in other sports news, the Oregon Ducks football team flew south earlier this week to play in the Fiesta Bowl, and boy are their arms tired. Who writes this crap? And in other sports news, in the NBA, the Portland Trail Blazers are blazing a trail right into last place. Way to go, guys. Now we take you to live coverage of a boxing match that took place just hours ago. Let's go to that footage right now. Yeah, this has been a spectacular boxing match between my buddy and Kirby Bear. Look at him dancing around the ring. Oh, and my buddy scored. Oh, no, and Kirby's rocked. Oh, and Kirby kicks him in the crotch. Oh my Lord, this has turned into an all-out WWF wrestling match. What's going on here? This was a boxing match turned into wrestling. Oh my Lord. Oh, and Kirby, he's out of the ring. What? And wait, what's this? Here Oh no, it's Big Bird. 1, 2, 3. Oh my Lord, we have a brand new champion, ladies and gentlemen, Big Bird. We're back, and wow, that was an exciting boxing match between Kirby and my buddy, and wow, Big Bird came out of nowhere to win that match. Big Bird. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of WTN. STUVWXYZ Sports, and I'm Mark Johnson, and now back to Todd Hilton in the studio. Todd, are you there? Todd?
Mark, it appears your signal is breaking up. It looks like we'll have to go back to the studio and complete this absolutely useless newscast. Chris? Thank you, Chris. Well, that will do it for WTHC News tonight. For WTHC News, I'm Todd Hilton. Have a wonderful holiday. Enjoy this time with your friends and family. Exchange gifts with your friends and family. And exchange bodily fluids with your friends and family. Fight for your right to party. But don't party too hard. Party till the break of dawn. Happy holidays from all of us here at WTHC News. Be sure to wish your friends and family happy holidays. Send Christmas cards. Be sure to send them early enough so that they are received by the holidays. Be sure to feed your pets before you go Christmas shopping. Help out at volunteer functions. Help feed the homeless. Make sure that people everywhere have a safe place to celebrate the holidays. Be well.
From St. Helens, this has been WTHC News. Join us next time when we have more news and hopefully a new host.
Good night.